Hey y'all, Crystal here. We are going to make a little crochet wreath Christmas ornament. And you just need a little bit of green and red yarn, about 5 yards of green yarn and 1 yard of red yarn to make this. I am using a 5mm crochet hook. This little wreath is about 2.5 inches wide and about 2.5 inches tall without the loop. If you're adding a loop as tall as mine, it's another, what is that, maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches there. And you can adjust that as you like. Now we are going to do this without a ring or anything in the center, so I'm going to use a magic loop. You can also chain 12 and join the first chain to the last chain with a slip stitch. Just make sure not to twist your chain there. Okay, so we'll start with the magic circle. And I'm going to work 12 mini bean stitches. So I insert my hook into the magic circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, insert my hook into the magic circle, yarn over and pull up a loop. I'll have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. Then I chain 1, and that is a mini bean. Both of those stitches on the top there, the mini bean and the chain 1 count as 1 for this stitch. Now I'm going to repeat that across. So I have 12 mini beans, and if you're counting the mini bean and the chain 1s, then you'll have 24 stitches in that way. Okay, so just repeat that around until you have 12 sets. Okay, when you get 12 mini beans or 24 stitches if you're counting across the top, it's time to pull your mini bean, your magic loop, magic circle a little bit closed. You just want it to meet. It doesn't have to be closed like a hat. We want an open circle there. Okay, and now we are going to join to our first mini bean stitch with a slip stitch. Here's the mini bean stitch. Slip stitch that to the last one we made. Then we're going to turn our work, and going back into that same space is where we are going to make our next round, our first stitch of our next round. We'll chain 1, and that won't count as a stitch. And then we're going to mini bean in each mini bean stitch around. So right here, place our mini bean stitch, chain 1. Then here is our mini bean. This is our chain 1 from closing the first mini bean. Here's where we insert our hook for our next stitch of the mini beans. You flip it over there, you can see the mini bean there. You're going to go into that stitch. So skip the chain 1, work into the mini bean stitch, including the chain 1, and then just keep repeating that around. If you pull them apart a little, you can see this vertical yarn there that helps us identify where to place our hook. Just continue all the way around. All right, and then this is our last stitch to skip, so we're going to join to the top of our first mini bean with the slip stitch. And that's it for our green wreath bit. From here, if you want to make the hanging loop like we've done, we're going to chain 20 or to your desired length. That'll give you about a 2-inch loop once it's looped back down. Now I'm going to chain tightly so that it's real small. I'm going to tighten my tension up a little here. You can switch to a smaller hook if you like as well. Okay, so then we're going to just bring that loop back down and slip stitch it here to the first stitch again. Pull up a long loop, and you can cut that. We'll leave that part in at the end there, along with our tail from our loop. Okay, so now we are going to do the red ribbon bow. So we'll need about 1 yard of red yarn and a yarn needle. So we're going to start by leaving a length of red yarn hanging that we will use at the end to tie the bow, like so. About 6 inches. Leave about 6 inches so we can thread our needle and then pull a tail of about 6 inches. Okay, so then we're going to start back here where our join is, where our hanging loop is, the top center, and we'll pull our tail through. There we go. So that we have about 6 inches there. Now we'll go to our other end of the yarn and thread that through. And we're just going to use that piece to weave in and out around the mini bean stitches. So we'll just come up in between, like in the chain 1 space on the back here. Making sure not to pull that. And then go over the mini bean, back down to the back. There we go. Pull it snugly, but not too tight. And continue around, weaving up and down around. Okay, when I get back around to the top, I want to bring my yarn back up through the same spot here where my other tail is. And I can trim it up even with my first tail, which I'm going to do now because mine is extra long. Okay, so when your 2 tails have met at the top, then you're just going to tie a bow. It's going to be too big at first because our fingers are bigger than this little ornament, and that's fine. Then you just hold the center knot and pull those tails till your bow is a bit smaller and neater. So you can pull it a little smaller than you want and then pull it back to tighten up that center piece. And then just trim your tails to the length that you want. on both sides so they match. And we'll weave in these. And there you go. You've got a cute little Christmas wreath ornament to hang on your tree or add to your other Christmas decor. It's super simple and quick to make, and the mini bean stitch gives it a really beautiful texture.